Hey guys, it's Luke here. So this is a video that I wanted to make for a really long time, but I've kind of just put it off again and again and again. And it's almost been 2 years since the last type of this video that I made. And it's something that you guys really like and you guys want to see more of. So yeah, I figured I would give it to you now because I started college a couple months ago and I've been pretty inconsistent as of late on uploading to YouTube. And I don't really know how consistent I will be in the future, just given the busyness of my life recently and, change of priority and stuff like that, So I figured I would just give you guys this video because, yeah, I had some time today to do it and I thought it would be nice. So I hope you guys enjoy and, yeah, I hope you learn some stuff.
Okay, so starting off with 2x2, I'm going to do 2 scrambles just because 2x2 is so short. So here's the first one now. Okay, so this is actually a very easy solution. So the first thing I saw was just there's a 2-move layer on yellow. You just do U2R, and then that cancels very heavily into just the normal CLL alg. So the full solution, you just hold it here. You do a U, sledgehammer, R, U prime, R prime, U2R. So that's a very nice solution. Yeah, so that's very easy. Here's the next one. Okay, this is a pretty straightforward solution as well. I see a couple things here that I could potentially do, but I think I would just go for this orange layer. So this is just a 3-move layer, R2, U prime, R prime. And then you just have this CLO, which is pretty good CLO. And from here, you're gonna have no AUF after, like that. So yeah, very straightforward CLL solutions, but pretty effective. Okay, so on 3x3, there's a very nice X cross here on yellow. So what I'm going to do is, so this is the pair that's going to be my X cross, and then I'll do this as my second pair. And I'm going to solve both these pairs on the left side. So I'm going to have these 2 slots open after my first 2 pairs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the D prime to solve this edge. Then from here, I can do R prime, L prime, solve these 2 cross edges. And then to finish this X cross, you can start to solve this edge like normal, but instead of doing an F2, do F prime, U, F prime. And then it sets up this pair pretty nice in the back to just do a left double sexy in the back. And then I would go for this pair next. And then for this pair, I'm just going to go ahead and rotate to this open slot, set these up like that, and then insert right there. Then you have just a pretty normal OLO. Actually, not a big fan of that OLO, but it's all right. And then you get R-perm from this angle, which is nice because you can do this kind of alternate alg to have no pre-AUF or post-AUF from here. So yeah, I think that'd be a pretty good solve. Okay, so on this 4x4 scramble, you have this yellow bar and this white bar. And then you also have this free white edge. And that's something I'm going to preserve in this solve. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with this white center. And I know if I do a D, pair these up with a wide R, and then bring it down here, I know this edge will be preserved, so I can just do an F. And then I'm going to go ahead and solve this bar next. But first, I'll just do a D prime to get this out of the way so I don't mess up that edge. Bring this up like that. Position this one here, and then just rotate over, solve this in the back like that. And then from here, I see this as my next edge. So the way I'm going to do that is just like this. And then kind of wide, triple R prime, D prime. And then this is my next edge right here. Pair that up like that, and then bring this down. And then I see this red bar, so I'd probably just go into that. So bring this here. Here's the next one. And then before I bring this up, I will probably just do a move to bring that there. And then this is my next piece, or my next bar. And then to solve this last two centers case, just insert this, cancel into inserting like that. And then I'll rotate up. This is a pretty interesting last cross edge case. So I usually just rotate up and then solve the last cross piece. Some people kind of solve it while they're solving the center or before rotating, but I always rotate first. This is a pretty cool solution for this. So what you can do is just one slice move, and then you're going to take this piece out and then simultaneously insert it into here with this, and then just slice back, and that has your edge solved. You can just do D prime L. I see you have this solved edge, so I'm just gonna go ahead and slice, and I see that this is the next one I'm tracking, so I'm just gonna take this out, put this in, and then you have this one, just like that. And then I saw that this edge was also solved, just coincidentally. From here, I see this is gonna be my next one. So I'm not gonna rotate, I'm just gonna insert this with left mouse, and then solve this edge, like that. And then I see that this is my last two, so I'm also just gonna insert this with left mouse, and then I'll just go ahead and rotate, and then just solve that in the basic way there. This is the first pair I see, so I'm just gonna do a D, kind of flip that edge, makes this free as well, and then rotate over, solve this one, then solve this one. And we have OLL parity. I do a bit of a weird alg that most people don't do. And through the end of my alg, it ends with an F2, so I can cancel into this OLL. Like that, and then you get this parity PLL. The way I do this one is I go here, and I actually just start a JB perm. And then when I get to this moment, or this part in the alg, from here, just do PLL parity, and then finish like that. Okay, so for 5x5, I'm probably gonna go for this white center first because you have this kind of bar here, this bar, or kind of partial bars. So there's a lot you can kind of do off this. And what I would probably do is, okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to pair this corner to this bar right here in these moves. And that kind of makes this T plus this edge. I'm gonna do a D, finish that like this, and then kind of rotate to this side, and then finish off the white center like that. Rotate up, and then I'll start working on this yellow. So I would probably just like back insert this edge, rotate over, insert this kind of pair, make this pair, insert that there, and then this final bar like that, and then insert like that. And then from here, I think the first edge I saw was this one. So I'm gonna pair up two of them, look for the final piece, which is, oh man, right there. Pair that up like that. And then this red one next, you can do like this. And then rotate up, get that one there. And then this green is pretty nice, like that. And then there's this, I would probably do this blue center first. So I would kind of start like that, and then just bring that up, and then this pair of pieces here, solve that. Now we have this red, so I would just like bring that piece up, do that, and then like that for the red center, and then solve this last center like this, and that's all the centers. From here, I see that you have these two here, and then this edge. So I would rotate over. I'd probably just make those kind of solved, and then do that for this last one, and then just insert like that. I see this as my first edge, so I'll just go ahead and insert here. This one I'm gonna put in next to quickly slice there, and then back insert this edge to make that. And then I'm gonna do this one next, and then insert the last edge, then this one, and then this coincidentally got solved, so that's nice. And that's our first, everything except L4E. Go ahead and fix centers. So a lot of people will do like a commutator before they do their last, to do their last four edges. I don't really know how to do that, so I'm not really gonna do that. I'm just gonna do like, I just do like slice, flip, slice, spam, which works sometimes, but sometimes it's kind of bad, but I don't know. I just haven't really figured out how to make the commutator work. But so I see this one first. So I'm just gonna do like a Y2, slice, flip, slice that edge. Then from here, what I'm gonna do is slice, flip, slice here to solve that. Then I also see you can just solve this one. And then from here, I'm just gonna do an R2. And that sets up this last two edges case with a U prime. And then this is the alg. And then just finish, just undo the setup moves. You have this one in the back, and then this pair, and then this pair, and then just soon G-perm. And that's the solve. Okay, so for Pyraminx, I see that you can solve this V pretty nicely on red here. And what you're gonna do is, I usually just solve tips first. And then what I'm gonna do is B R prime. That solves this big block. And then you can finish the V with just U L prime. And then you get this pretty nice L4E. It's not the best, but any flipped edge L4E is pretty good in my book. So you just do a sledge, U prime, sledge, U. So pretty nice solve. Okay, so for clock, since the last video, I've since switched to 7 simul. So this is gonna be a lot different than the last one. And this is not gonna be like a 7 simul tutorial. This is kind of like, if you know 7 simul, this is gonna make sense. If you don't, it probably won't make sense, but you know, I'll just go through it pretty quickly because you know, it's not really too much to explain if you know 7 simul. So what I'm gonna do on the scramble is start with this center edge skip. That's the only one on the scramble, so I would just do that. Unfortunately, this is a 6 move, D move on the other side, but I'm still gonna do this. So my memo, oh wow, okay, so this is a 6 simul. So it starts with OO, and then JJ, and then BI. So OOJJBI. So start with this position because I don't have to do the first 2 moves. I'm gonna do JJ, and then intuitive move to make this block here, and then BI, and then intuitive solve this, solve that, and then AUF. So pretty nice solve. 6 simul is pretty nice. Okay, so for Skewb, I just see on green here you have a 3 move layer. And what you're gonna do is solve this piece, then this piece, then this piece, all with just 1 move. So I would kind of finger trick it like this. And then you get this case, which I don't know. So I'm just gonna do advanced. So from here, you just do a sledge, hedge, and then go right into U-perm. So yeah, could be a pretty good solve if I turned well. Okay, so for square one, I don't know CSP, so I'm just gonna do the cube shape and just see what happens. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with kind of like a -3 and then a 6 on bottom. And that's gonna put me in position to make this block and then make this block. And then from here, I am going to pair this up to make scallop kite, put it in the front here, solve it like that. From here, just a 2 slice CO, and you get this nice kind of LL case. And then from here, I'm gonna do a D2 and then kind of misalign here to preserve this block. And then do NJ. And then we get Adj, which is very nice. So solve that in the back and then ABF. Okay, so on Megaminx, I'm gonna start with the white star. I see that all of the pieces are kind of very close to each other, which is nice. You have this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and solve these 2 in relation to each other and then solve them there. Do this yellow one and then this blue one and then this red one like this. Next, I'm gonna solve this pair here. And then I think I'll go ahead and solve this. And then I'll bring this red one over because I noticed when I was solving star that this corner was gonna be solved. Rotate over here, this one. And then the last pair is like this. Probably not the most efficient way, but not bad. And then I'll just go ahead and like hedge this blue piece, green blue piece here. And then I'm going to kind of bring these in the right spot, solve this here. Next, I see this. So I'm just gonna kind of solve that block like this and then pair this up, solve this block like this. Next, I see this here. So put that in and then do that. And then finally this last block, put that edge down, bring this up, and then insert it like that. Now I'll work on the last 5 like pieces, or the last 5 pairs here. So I have this one, this one, this one, this one, and then this one. From here, F inverse sexy, and then OLL, PLL that I don't know, so I'm just gonna do T perm into this 3 cycle case like that. So for one-handed, on this scramble, I'm just gonna go for a pretty simple yellow cross. There's kind of this block here, but I'm not really finding much that I like off of this. So I'm gonna go for a pretty simple yellow cross and then just kind of do this as my first pair, which would be pretty spammy. So what I'm gonna do is R prime, D prime, R, D, kind of rotate over, then R, D, and then U into this back double sexy. And then this front sexy, insert that in the back. And then I'll just go ahead and go into this one while I'm over here. And then this pair, rotate, insert. For this OLL, I'll just do back soon, F sexy F prime, and then A B perm, like that.